pipes are going to be in a different location. But when you were in that area there with that county services building, did you notice there was a Shell service station there on the corner? Do you remember that?
Right.
Okay, straight across the street. There's the shoulder of the road is kind of a wider area there. Then there's a small embankment, but the shoulder is really wide. It's probably 30, 40 feet wide, real flat area. And those guys, that was a good area to store those pipes. And that's where it was at.
Oh, right across from the Shell station.
Yeah, and really it was positioned, Roger, that there were several pipes there that day. So the stack of pipes were probably came up almost to my chest. And he was laying in behind the pipes, so you could actually have driven a car right beside the pipes on the road, and you would have not, it wouldn't have been anything that you would have noticed. He was on the backside. It's almost, in my mind, this is my opinion, it's almost like he was, what I could envision was he was walking down the road. Instead of walking between the pipes and the shoulder of the road, he just walked right behind the pipes. And when he was behind the pipes, whatever happened, happened.
Well, it's an interesting case, and the thing is, do y'all know how y'all keep records? Have you ever had any reports or calls to his office about peculiar behavior, either?
No, he's never been alarmed. We knew Chace well. We thought he was a fine young fella. He actually practiced law in our court. He represented a lot of clients in our city court. So a lot of our officers knew Chace personally, and was a fine guy.
Yeah, and y'all never had calls or anything to his, like something strange going on at his office or anything like that?
His office had moved over the years. He had practiced law at 2 or 3 different locations, so at times his office was not in Pelham.
Oh, okay.
So,
but most recently was there, I think there was a Canyon Park drive?
Yes.
Okay. And, well, Larry, sounds good. I appreciate anything else that you've learned? I think you mentioned you've done a little bit more investigating since we talked.
We didn't uncover anything. That's why I say it was nothing out of place, nothing unusual, nothing out of the norm. It could be, until Talks gets back, tell us what kind of levels, if there was anything in his system. It's just an unknown. We don't know. We talked to the family, and people. He didn't have any medical problems that we learned. So, but that's not always plays out to be true in the end. We've had cases before where people had heart attacks at young ages and didn't realize they had a heart problem until it was too late. Those kinds of things. So
I guess they don't know either then.
No. Until we start getting all those talks back and the coroner and the medical examiner have a chance to go through their end of it. The cause of death is still undetermined. Now they issue a death certificate, and that's what they will put for the time being is undetermined.
Okay.
And there is a terminology they use, but I don't do it, and I'm not familiar with it. But you can call the coroner's office and find out if they have a determination on it. Shelby County.
Okay, is that Diana
Hawkins? That's correct.
Okay, but as far as you know, it's classified as undetermined on the death certificate?
Yes. We have not gotten the tox reports back. We haven't got any reports back yet. And probably won't. Like I said, that's why I guess I told you that story, because there's nothing out of the ordinary. There's nothing. The ones that are the stab wounds, the cuts, the shooting victims, those type of victims are the ones that will go to the top of the list. And it's just like everybody else. Everybody has to prioritize.
Right. So, well, I guess it's funny. This case is you think that the lay person anyway, you think, well, was the only thing you can think about is some sort of ingested too much of a drug or something. But it sounds like was there any signal of that?
No.
Sort of a.
I've learned a long time ago. Of course, I've been in this business for 30 years.
You probably know not to guess.
I don't try to assume anything anymore, Roger. And and I never speculate, and, you know, the day I say, well, I think I've seen it all today, tomorrow brings me something else. So, yeah, I never say, well, you know, I've seen it all now. So, you know, so anything could happen. You know, he went to CVS. What's he say that he didn't buy a gumball and you know, choked to death on a gumball? You know, that's why I don't speculate, because as sure as I do, then I'm going to be on the phone to Roger trying to explain why